Hi, everybody. This is Bullseye Handicapping Part 3. And I been relaxing all day. I haven't looked at anything to do with any racing at all in the sense of having it on. I don't have it on in the background because as a horse player, that just makes me want to get involved or makes my whole being get elevated because I've been a horse player for 50 years. And, this year, I've been wanting to get to this point for 6 years now where, I'm in control. I'm in control of everything I'm doing. I've set up disciplines and walls and fences of not to go over. And what's been my most enjoyable and most powerful tool is being a ninja about passing races and doing it by detaching. And detaching is, not you don't look at it. If you don't peek in the window, you won't see the naked girl or you won't see anything. But if you look in, meaning you open the razor form, then you're going to be another being. You're going to be somebody who I have to play because that's what you do. That's your mojo. That's your mofo Joe. And you have to be aware of that. And so I'm not talking to you about only the one race I'm playing. I'm trying to talk to you about you. Did you come to play or did you come to win? Uh, if you came to play, then you've been playing all week and you're already in the game already playing. Um, if you came to win, maybe you didn't play all week and you're just playing one or two races. Winners are patient, they're disciplined, they wait, um, and then they try to put themselves into a position of opportunity. But that starts by waiting, by passing races, by detaching. But not only detaching by not by truly detaching, meaning you don't even you don't even open a racing form for any of those other races. And and now today I wouldn't even open up the racing form. There's nothing else to look for. I've already been wowed by the race a week ago. And, during the week, I continued to get wowed. So I was able to continue. And I'll talk about, how, let the bet make you. Let the bet make you. I like to put that in on the chat thing here. Let the bet make you. So sense mojo. Yeah, so uh, felt sense. Let the bet make you. If you're playing a lot of races, you're not doing that. You're just trying to find contenders. You're trying to find who's going to win the race. You're looking at what everybody else is looking at. You're on the same. You're in the same boat as everybody else. Who's going to win this race? Bullseye handicapping, knows that that's where you are, and I want to be contrarian. And the way that I'll be contrarian is I'm not trying to win find the winner of the race. I'm looking at trying to find a horse that I think is going to run a good race, no matter what, at odds that are higher than what they should be because he's a little dirty or because of something didn't go right, but now it's right. Um, having a mojo that just tells you, this is where you want to go. And again, that's letting the bet make you. And also, what I use is what's called a crystal clear clarity board, and I use that to basically map out the way you're looking at the race. How are you looking at the race? That's what I'm mapping out, and I'm going to show that later also. Um, but what I do first is 1 second, I'm sorry. Just setting up here. So what I do is I sit in my car and do the my thoughts, put my thoughts in. Every day except for Saturday. So I'm playing the Preakness. I didn't have a good experience this morning. I went going to my garage studio, my friend's garage studio, and my car just said to me, "What the fuck?" And something's wrong with the front end. I got into an accident about a month ago, and I thought everything was okay. I thought it was damage to the side a little bit, but you push something in and it's all fucked up. So, not lucky, right? Not lucky today. My mojo is raggedy, so to speak. And believe it or not, that has an effect as to whether you're going to do really good or whether you're going to do really bad. I can take that as a negative. You worry about it, get anxiety, and make a big deal out of it, and become all whacked out about it, right? I can do that. Or I can choose otherwise. I can choose something different. I can choose a thought like, shit, I'll just take care of that, Monday. And that's my choice. My choice is to take care of it Monday and not to worry about it, not even think about it. So that's what I've done. I don't need to go anywhere today. Anymore today, but I do understand that I got shit happen. Just like in horse racing, shit happen. A lot of the time, shit happens, and that's why you have to put in so many disciplines to deal with shit happening. And the beautiful thing about the Preakness is that I think there's no way shit's not gonna happen in a 14-horse field. So that's beautiful. This is a handicapper's prom dance, as I say. This is my prom because if you're right, if you get lucky, you get paid because the pools are so big. That's why it's worth it to wait. Skip all the dances, skip all the races in between, and go to the prom, go just to the big dance, and then don't play any other races. I don't know boro. I don't know nothing about boro. So I'm gonna handicap these races and try. Plus, I don't play anything but wild races, which is the graded races. And this race isn't wild because it's a horse in here that I love. This horse is wild because of the fact that it's an explosion. I mean, when you look at my crystal clear clarity board, everything's changed. Basically, if you don't read the racing form, which I'm not doing, I don't have to read the racing form because again, I get all the information from the media. The media tells me who the public is, and then get it all from the odds. I don't want to handicap anymore. I've learned recently that horse racing information is useless over the last 6 years. And I've proven it to myself. So, I walked through fire, got out of the ocean and said, I'm not doing that anymore. Because I know you can beat a race, but you can't beat the races. You can beat a race, but you can't beat the races. So I'm not going to try to beat the races like you guys. I'm going to try to be contrarian. Going the other way. Just playing the race. No pick fours, no pick threes, none of that. Just playing the race. And let the race talk to me. Just like the late Mike Mazzoli used to say, you got to have first you get, my idea is I get wild by the race. I'm wild by the race. Then you get a felt sense of what the mojo of the race is. And I got that. Got that a long time ago. As soon as they started talking about it, as soon as the Derby was finished, right? So then you get a felt sense of, what do you want to do here? What do you like? Is there anything that stands out to you?
my original mojo, when I started, was basically knowing that who the contenders are. And in my mind, I thought the contenders was the 1, the 9, and the 10, and I thought the 14. So that's what I thought the contenders were. You guys thought that the 1, the 9, the 10, and the 6, and then the 12 were the contenders, and then everybody else was double, over 15 to 1. So I make what I call a crystal clear clarity board, and I'll show you the differences. It's pretty huge, and it's pretty. It tells you a lot. It really does, and it blows your mind at how much it tells you, because basically, it's saying to you that the public has no fucking idea what's going to happen in this race, and that's good. If you got a pile of money, you can make a pile of money here, no doubt about it. And the only way you get a pile of money is by not playing all those other days. The only way you can get, to build your bankroll versus bankroll depreciation. Bankroll depreciation means you have to play 5 days a week. Bankroll preservation is playing 1 day a week. So that when you do play, you have the money to play it. And you can't play this race, raggedy. You can't. You can't play this race, where you have to spend hours and hours and hours thinking about what you want to do. And, I've already spent hours and hours, doing videos about it and everything else, talking about not so much the horses, but about the player. About you. I mean, are you going to go into the race already losing? Are you, because you're losing? Are you going to go into the race, where one of your pick fives is already out because, you lost one of the races before this? Now you're playing daily doubles going into the race. Did you play daily double going in from yesterday to today? Again, on and on. Race, another race, another race, another race. And by the time you get to this race, you're fucking boo-boo. I'm just coming out of the bleachers. Going to the locker room. And you guys are in there with Mike Tyson, getting your ass whooped. Or beating them once in a while, but you're only beating them 2 out of 10 times. You can move your ass, so to speak, So that's why, and again, you got to get a black belt with the Tyson. You have to. Like one of the best things I've done for myself, almost a miracle, I swear to God, is that learning how to detach. This is detaching. You guys are playing the races now. I haven't even opened up the racing form. You guys are already into playing your big fours, big fives. You've already won or lost. I haven't even engaged yet. I'm going to do this video, then I'm going to dance, and then I'm going to go in and say hello again. Again, the day of somebody playing the races, I'm playing for 50 years. So for 50 years, this is what I did, but I'm doing it completely different. It's a paradigm change to do it this way. It's beautiful. What's beautiful about it is the fact that, if I wanted to go somewhere, I could go somewhere. If I wanted to have lunch with my wife or girlfriend or friends, I could do that. You can't. You can't, because you have to play the next race and the next race and the next race. It took me 6 years to build all those fences and say, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to enjoy some of my life. I want to enjoy some of my life before I go home. You know what I mean? I don't want to keep, playing the races in this insane game where only 15% of the people are up there cheering and winning. There's no way you can be one of them if you're a gambler. A gambler is somebody who's playing 5 days a week. A person who makes an investment once a week. There's all kinds of disciplines. The goal isn't to take them down, it's just to make a couple of pennies. But most importantly, to have an enjoyable experience. And that experience is done with a felt sense, as I was talking about before with Mike Rizzola. You have a felt sense, like in this race, what were some of my felt senses? It was the 1. Now, the home court advantage with the 1 is huge. The fact that he's 5-1 is huge. I think he should be 51, no doubt about it in my mind. So he's got everything going for him, everything. People say that the rail's no good. People say that he can't go there. It doesn't matter from the data that you see and from the videos that you see and from the fact that the trainer is a top trainer in the world. I mean, everything is for him. So he's almost like the fulcrum horse, the center of attention. But you can be disappointed immediately, get wiped out at the gate, and then he's done. He can have a bad start, or he can get out beautifully, and he's going to run the race you want him to run. The other, felt sense or mojo that I had going on was with the 9. Iron, Judd Brown's horse. I liked him going into the wood, and he ran a race that's dirty. So, I thought he would be, equal to the 1 at 5-1. And I saw him to be, before I saw the new odds, the fact that he went from 5-1 to 9-1, that's not good, because what that means to me is that, it's not, and then the 1 stayed at 5-1, it's telling you now another story. Again, the joy of handicap, the joy of having the joy of playing the game where you're having an enjoyable experience. So this is the part. This is my gig here. I'm thinking about it. I'm saying 9-1. You went up to 9-1. I'm not going to think that I'm the smartest guy in the room and say, oh, that's good or bad or whatever. But it's not good. It's not good that he went up 4 points. Something's not right. So there's some news out there that's saying no. So that's a felt sense. You get a felt sense of why is that? And then you go over to the 10 horse. Same thing. Pretty much the same thing. He should be around 5-1, 6-1 also, but he's 9-1. Why so much doubt? What's happened to make him lose 4 points? Incredible. People have been staying with the 12 horse. They've been staying with him. They've been staying with him solid. So somebody knows something about him. But the fact that he's coming back in 2 weeks, for me, the felt sense or the mojo or the feeling that I got, getting wowed. I'm not wowed by the fact that he's coming back. He's 5-1. So I'm going to try to fade him, so to speak. Oselli, the 2, is in the same camp. He's coming back in 2 weeks, and he's 9-1. So he's another horse that I'm fading. The chip horse, the 6. I see him in the 5 pretty much the same way, but more the 5 as someone who should be, looked at. The 7. I don't really have a mojo with him, or a story that I can tell. The 8, I never really got, the 8 in there as someone that was, of interest, but he went from being a totally dismissed horse like the 3 and the 4 to going in half, almost 16-1. So there's a story about him going on. So that's a big shift. So you have to recognize
Friday.
You have to kind of like, well, why? And maybe somebody will say something, or maybe you'll see something and you'll find out what the why is. The biggest thing that so the 3 and the 4 were dismissed and still are dismissed. The 11 is getting a lot of the money like the 8. So the 11 and the 8 came down. So they joined the, let's look at me a little bit, right? So you got 11, 5, 9, 7, 10, 2, 6, 8, all at the same odds. Come on, that's unreal. But the thing that's the most unbelievable about the crystal clear clarity board in my mind is the 14. The 14 And that's why I'm telling you, racing form information, the sheets, thoroughbred, time form, that's where I always spent all my time. No more. No more. It's just getting involved in one race and just enjoying the journey. So I don't know what to do with the 14. My opinion on the 14 was 7-1. So now he's 29 to 1. So that's a wow. And again, my whole thing about horse racing is to be wowed. I'm wowed by that. I'm wowed by the fact that the 14 went from 9 to 1 to 29 to 1. If he doesn't come out with 3 legs, then I mean, what can you do? So I just wanted to go over that a little bit. I'll show it too when I actually do the videotape on the computer, and I added my audio from now talking about it. So again, it's about 12:30, almost 1 o'clock, right? And again, I'm not doing anything. I'm not watching races. I'm not looking at no racing form, time form, and I'm not going to get it for the rest of the day. So now I'm going to detach again. I'm going to just sit alone and leave the horse racing bubble completely. I've spent about 20 minutes, doing this, which I totally enjoy. If anybody wants to, hear more of my mojo personally, I'm at 475-279-5398. I'd love to talk to you because I got the time. Like I said, the next thing I'm going to do is dance a little bit and get my mojo back and sit and just check it and just let my mind get out of the whole insanity of playing. Unfortunately, you guys think that you have to sit there. You think that you have to, you can't leave that chair. You leave that chair, you lose your spot. No, you can leave that chair. You can pass a race. I give you permission. Bullseye handicap, but I can give you permission. All right? Leave the chair. Take a walk. Walk your dog. Call your wife, your girlfriend, call your friend. Ask somebody else some bullshit. But detach. My mantra is get up, get out, get energized. You gotta get energized. Especially if you had a bad experience already. Or you had a bad experience yesterday. Best thing is the guy in shake-up, he's taking the day off. He's getting energized. He's enjoying his family. He's going to be with his wife. He's going to be with his friends. That's the move. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Play. Don't play 5 days a week. Only play 2 days a week, 3 days a week. Only play when the races matter. When your stats tell you I'm a winner on those days, or at least I have a good time when I'm doing that. I'm having a good time today. Because I'm not there, yelling at the screen saying, come on, 5, come on, 5, come on, 5. Oh, 5. Like, damn, man, what the? It's gone. I mean, the amount of you. By 8 o'clock, you're fucking get yellow. By 7 o'clock, by preakness time, you get yellow. When the real races come up, you're yellow because you've been playing all day and you've been playing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Don't do that. Get your sanity back and detach from the horse racing bubble, go into the world bubble for a while. It basically saves your life when you do that. Like I've never been happier than I am now. Because I'm not doing something that's hurting me. I'm not whipping myself in the back. I'm not doing something that's self-destructive, which is, excessively gambling. I did for 50 years. How much of a gift this is to myself to do this, to go full circle where I don't have to fucking bet anymore every race that's out there. 2,500 races a year for 50 years. I'm fucking exhausted. But 6 years ago, I started the Ego Buster program for myself. I've always started doing that kind of crazy ass program. beat a race, but I can't beat the race. I might be able to this week at the Preakness today, but I'm definitely gonna have an enjoyable experience because I'm going to the prom. I'm not cheating on the experience by doing 10, 20 other things. 20 other things is just to sit and not do nothing. 20 other things, go rollerblading, dance, again, spend time with your family, take your girlfriend out for a bite to eat, and then come back later. Come back later. It's 1 o'clock, it's 6 more hours before the Preakness. But I already had this day planned. I already knew, like, every Saturday I do the same thing, so I'm doing the same thing I did last Saturday and the Saturday before. And every big race. Because that's what we do. You got a mojo, a felt sense. And most importantly, let the bet make you. Let the bet make you. What does that mean? Let the bet make you mean don't play. You see a race and it doesn't talk to you. It's not making you. Pass. And pass means vanish. It's gone. You don't look at it ever again. That race has got, a disease that I want no part of. Gone. Okay, go to your next race. I did that for.
So, like I said, I do the recordings in the car, because I'm detached and I feel really at ease, and there's no anxiety, and I'm able to flow sweetly, because it's not planned or written out or scripted. It just comes, as it comes and as it should. And it was funny. On the crystal clear clarity board that I do, I forgot the 13. I just put them in. I forgot the 13th. And, again, talking about felt sense and talking about let the bet make you. There's a mojo that goes on that horse players know about, but it's very, faint. It's very there, but you can't see it. And, that's letting the bet make you. That's a felt sense. That's being wowed. That's a mojo, right? And more, if you're handicapping the races all the time, thinking that that's what's going to give you the end result, you can't get this other mojo. If you don't detach, from the game and get your mind back and get your sanity back. Because when you're playing, you're on fire and you're totally insane. Because that's gambling. Gambling is totally insane. Clip that, as John would say. In his tape the other day, he's saying that, if you don't think that your horse player doesn't think he's insane, then he is insane because he doesn't even know it. I know I'm insane, so I know that I've been addicted to horse racing information, thinking that could give me an end desired result to be one of the 15% winners. Well, unfortunately, that didn't happen. My ego got busted, I went in and tried to mix it up with Mike Tyson, and he beat the shit out of me. 50 years I played. But like I said, 6 years ago, I made a paradigm change. I said, I want to do it this way at the end of my life. I'm 70. I want to have enjoyable horse racing experiences. So I set up, I'm a kung fu guy, karate guy, white belt, yellow belt, green belt, brown belt, black belt, a master guru, so I still want to be a guru, but, I can't beat the races, but maybe I could just beat a race here and there. And maybe I can get lucky and get paid, This is, I'm thinking it, you need skill, you need dedication, you need hard work. I did all those things, I'm just not smart enough or lucky enough or doing something right. So you have to change. And I did 6 years ago. And that change was just working on me, working on not being insane. And not being insane. An insane horse player is somebody who just does it for, enjoyable horse racing experience. Especially if you can't win at it. then just enjoy yourself. So that's my paradigm change. My paradigm change is, you got to still feed the addiction to heroin. It's no different than heroin or cocaine. Horse racing was my heroin, so to speak. I never touched heroin, but thinking that I could be a winner at this game called horse racing, that was when I put the needle in my arm. It was over. That's when the insanity began. And 60 years ago, I said, I don't want to be insane anymore. And not playing all day and all week is getting my sanity back. And I feel much, much better. The joy of not being addicted to losing. The effect on it, the consequences. But again, just to come back for a minute, again, this is my crystal clear clarity board. And just to continue with the mojo at this point, which is what time? Almost 2:12, and I haven't engaged at all. So my mojo is also leaning toward the 13. Because I had mojo toward the 13 and the 14, as my priced horses that interest me a little bit. The 13 more than the 14, but the 14 definitely I thought, highly of the horse. The horse shined to me. And that's what I mean by a felt sense. It talks to you. So, but also you have to listen. What the crystal clear clarity board does, it also tells you, don't, the horse, the 11, the 3, and the 4, and now the 14. If they win, your story was unbelievable. And you're definitely, as I say, enjoying a moment of perfection. And that's what it's all about, is to enjoy a moment of perfection with, making a selection that comes in. So the 13, why the 13 horse? Number one was because of the fact that he came, just like the guy at Past the Wire said, with one of the horses he likes, running at Turfway Park, and then for some reason or another, just running huge when they got back on the dirt. But nobody talked about the 13, and so obviously, if nobody's talking about him, then I want to look at him to see, is there a possibility that he's hitting gold many layers beyond the obvious? And I was, my felt sense, my mojo flow, my wow factor was, yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with taking a chance with the 13. So again today, I was on my way to see my friend this morning at 8 o'clock. And my car kind of broke down. So bad luck, 13. And, so I put that in my subconscious, and I just add that to the story, of my mojo. And then I write this board, and I leave out the 13. I leave them out. So and then I just put them in, right? So I just put them in. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe it. There we go again with the 13. So believe it or not, that's, being in the right place at the right time. And also because of the fact that in the original odds board, he was much higher than he is right now. In the original odds board, he was more like double digits. And now, he's gleaming at 7-1. Or what is he at? Yeah, he's probably, I think he's at 7-1. So, you could say he's overbet or whatever, but it's the opposite of what's happening with the 14. The 14 looks like he has 3 legs, but according to the racing form, the 14 should be 7-1, and the 13 should be something like 20 or 18, more like the 5 and the 8, in my estimation. So again, uh, you can't think that you're Mr. Smart Guy. You have to follow the money, so to speak, right? So the money is saying that the 13 may have a firecracker up his ass in the sense that he's going to run good today, whereas the 14 may only come out with 3 legs or even be scratched. So that's my mojo up until this point, right? That's my feelings on everything. Again, I haven't even watched one race. I don't know what results are happening. I don't have to follow any jockeys. I don't have to know whether the track profile is favoring this or that because this race is unique. It's 14 horses, and no matter what you see out there today, they don't have 14 horses in the field. And the dynamics of the race looks like it's going to allow a lot of crazy ass things to happen. Even if they don't happen, they're going to happen somewhat because it's a horse race and shit happens. And the more you're not insane about the game and about everything that you're doing, the better you'll be. I mean, Bill Russell was the man who came out with that. They said to him, why are you so good? And again, he said, because I don't come to play, I come to win. If you love to gamble, you're coming to play. If you love to win, you're doing it bullseye, which is, giving yourself an opportunity to win, but not going through many, many other races where you're losing. You go in, you're going to the prom. Will you go home with the prom queen? Or will you not? But you're going to the prom. So the stimulant's there. So half the bottle's there. All right. Hope you're doing well, and I'll be talking to you soon.